And that's why I'm so grateful and excited to learn that as an association, as an important gesture, you have decided to support the fund that we've created to help address this issue. We're just seeing what else we can add on top of the contracts that we can offer to support the cooperatives. And so we've created the Next Generation Coffee Fund. And it's really just designed to build on existing efforts. It's all to the good. All to the good. We put out an appeal to industry and say, you guys, if you're concerned about the future of your industry, if you want to support initiatives which will address production, you have to think of things like this. If you're wondering where your coffee's coming from in the future. I think we've gone through a period of slash and burn, you know, not wittingly, but I think that's what we're coming to. I don't see there's a future in saying, where's coffee coming on next? Yes, I can say, you go to Indonesia, it's all opening up nicely up in Aceh, in the wake of the civil war they've had up there. I think there's opportunities down through Central Africa, even a bit further south. But if you want to keep supporting the farmers that you're buying from now in the way that we do, these are the kind of initiatives that I think you're going to have to consider. I want to give you a little positive portrait of what I think the future might look like in one of the cooperatives that we buy from. Out in the east of Guatemala, in the Coban region, there are a lot of abandoned old German coffee mills. And farmers traditionally, they grow their coffee up on the hills and they bring it down to the valley, and street traders pay them whatever they want on the day, and they say they rip them off on the scales in every which way. Because they're not going to carry the coffee back up the hill, frankly, and everyone knows it. This cooperative was established with the Initiative American Entrepreneurial Organization. They're actually concerned about the environment. They wanted to protect what they considered a very important biosphere reserve called the Sierra de las Minas, which is down in the Polachik Valley. And they knew that if they're going to do so, they had to make sure that the people who lived next to it, who were encroaching, would earn enough from what they were doing to leave it alone. These were cardamom and coffee farmers. And so they set up a system of trade to get higher prices for the farmers. And the cooperative's standing on its own 2 feet now. We're really proud to be supporting them. We can see how far they've come in a short space of time, but we can also see the challenges for the future. Talking with Jorge, the members here are relatively young. They're Kikchi mine. A lot of the farmers we were talking with would have been between 30 and 45, probably. It's probably too much wording there to read, but here's Jorge, who was on the board for a time, and he was saying we got involved, and a number of us were a little bit sceptical about how it's going to go and whether we're really going to get more income. But they got a road put into the village. They've had a dry processing mill. They've had help with shade tunnels to help dry the coffee when it's raining. There's a particular kind of mist up there, which makes it quite challenging for them. Cheapy. And they've got a warehouse now of their own. They're really proud of all this, and they're really proud of the way they've been able to do this by working together. They've got an office of their own which exports down in Coban, and they love that. Here's what they say: he's planted out 2,500 new coffee seedlings from seed, and he hopes he's going to have another 1.5 tons of green coffee. So I think if the motivation is there, the coffee will come. But the challenge comes back to what we can actually achieve through our trade. And through the capacity building funding that we can channel, we're going to help them buy some land. They've canvassed widely throughout the organisation. They said, what do we want as a community? And they've synthesised the responses back to say what the ways that we can help to develop our community. And the assumption is that by association, and keep people living in this area and doing what they're still doing, is to have this land. They want to put more school opportunities on the land. They want to have somewhere down in this village, heart of their community, where they can stay when they're off the farm. They want, in the fullness of time, to have more control over the value add of their coffee, which is going to involve, they can manage the volumes in a dry processing mill of their own. They'll be able to ship straight down to the port. It's going to have a better road. They've got a vision, and it all involves money. And they've said to us, if you can help us with the land, we can use that as leverage, and we can get some funding through other sources, government and so forth. All of it's only achievable because they associate together. It's an organisation of people, by the people, for the people, trying to improve their quality of life. That's the way that I know is a really effective opportunity. But it is, I say it's only an opportunity because we're not out of the woods yet. I think our supply is looking really strong as a result of this. They recognise what we're looking to do, and I think we will always be first cab off the rank for them in terms of the coffee they can provide. They understand that Trader is very concerned about the disadvantaged situation of producers of the South. We perceive you to be a partner in the daily fight against poverty. The crux will be what these guys do. I've got 2 slides and then I'm done. What these guys decide to do when they grow up. If them and their mates are farming coffee, we'll feel a lot more comfortable about sustainability in the future. And if there's some things I'd like you to think about today, final slide, is understanding your supply chain from crop to cup. Ensure that you're part of a sustainable trading cycle. What's happening out there? Are the farmers getting enough? Remember as we were coming into the financial crisis, and you probably had some customers out in cafes and they're struggling to pay their bills, and you're asking them, what is it that you need? Well, I'm asking the same question back, and some of the answers I'm getting tell me, well, it's a bit more than we're getting right now. Get past any spin. I find it really valuable to talk to farmers. They're not, well, they're trying to sell me something, actually, they're trying to sell me their crop, but nothing, I don't value any comment so much as that which I hear from mountain farmers. Remember to treat any certification systems you rely on as starting points, not as ends. It's a whole other scenario, but I can't say that just because I've got a certain label on a packet of coffee that's a sustainable supply chain. I just don't think that's the case. Support initiatives that positively and effectively address sustainable coffee production concerns. Perhaps you know where your coffee's coming from, you're very comfortable with your supply chain, but just remember that it's part of the bigger picture. If there's other farmers out there who aren't getting what they need, that's going to put pressure on your supply as well. And very critically, communicate on issues around sustainability to your customers and also to their customers. If you recognise that people out at origin are needing more from you, that you're going to have to communicate that to the people that you might have to pass on extra costs to. They need to understand and respect and respond. It's a challenge all the way down the line. Thank you very much for your time. We would like to extend another opportunity. Trade Aid runs regular coffee tours. I invite the industry to come out and get a better understanding for yourselves what's going on out there. Most likely next opportunity will be January, February next year, probably back to Central America and down to Colombia. That's my plan at this stage. I'll put out a more formal invitation in an upcoming Pick of the Crop newsletter. And I'd love to see something out there. Thank you for your time.